The 94th Academy Awards, the year of Dune, The Power of the Dog, and, yes, Coda. There was a lot to love and like and hate about that ceremony, and I thought it would be fun, like I did in a video a few weeks ago about the 95th Academy Awards, to give you my list of the top 10 Oscar nominations of 2021. Like in that previous video, I have 3 rules. Number 1, no winners, so you're not going to see Ariana DeBose show up here. Number 2, I can only list a category once, so you won't see like 2 people from Best Actor, 2 people from Best Supporting Actress. I can only limit myself to 1 person in a category, which I gotta tell you this time around was really difficult in a certain category called Best Actress. And then number 3, only 1 mention per movie. So like, for example, there's like 3 or 4 Oscar nominations I adore for The Power of the Dog, but I was only able to choose 1. Alright, are you ready? The 10 best Oscar nominations at the 94th Academy Awards. Here we go. Number 10, Best Adapted Screenplay, The Lost Daughter.
I thought you said you were pregnant with your first.
I am. What were your daughters like when they were little?
So this film from writer-director Maggie Gyllenhaal knocked me out. I love this movie. It was in my top 5 of 2021. The performances, the sense of place, the mood, the atmosphere. So many amazing, memorable scenes in that film. I love the scene where Olivia Colman is trying to watch that movie in the small theater. It was just a very honest depiction of motherhood, the highs and the lows and the regrets. Wonderful ensemble cast. I love this movie. I wish it could have won an Oscar. It didn't. But in a heartbeat, I would have given The Lost Daughter the Best Adapted Screenplay prize for Maggie Gyllenhaal over Coda. Number 9, Best Costume Design, Cyrano.
I know your shoddy work. The dressing is loose.
Your confession.
Wow, how this wonderful movie crashed and burned at the Oscars. Cyrano should have gotten into a lot more than 1 technical category. I watched it many months after its very limited release, and Peter Dinklage is a revelation in this film. He is wonderful. He should have gotten into Best Actor. It's one of Joe Wright's best films, I would say, since Atonement. I just really love the look of this film, the ensemble cast, the music. It's so much fun. I guess this was an MGM film. Like, they really dropped the ball on this one. They released it about as late as they could have. This should have come out in October, November, gotten lots more eyeballs before award season really shifted into high gear. I am happy Cyrano got into that 1 category, costume design. We can call this terrific film an Academy Award nominee. The costumes are splendid throughout. That's a great nod that I adore. But honestly, this movie should have gotten a lot more. Number 8, Best Cinematography, West Side Story.
So tonight is a social experiment, boys and girls. Brotherhood and all that, and you're the guinea pigs.
This was another one of my favorite films of 2021. I thought Steven Spielberg did a great job with this property. It very much felt like a new thing. He wasn't just regurgitating everything from the 1961 version. Like, this is totally Spielberg through and through. For decades, he had talked about here and there how he wanted to make a musical, and he finally did it, and boy did he do it with gusto. Every scene of this movie slaps. I love the cast, the songs, everything, but one of the most impressive aspects of 2021's West Side Story, I would say, is the cinematography. The way Spielberg moves the camera, I mean, just in that opening scene alone, this is some of the most alive cinematography in a Spielberg film, I would say, in many years. Like, he is firing on all cylinders in the musical numbers. The big scenes, the quiet scenes, that amazing final shot. The cinematography of this film is spectacular. Number 7, Best Supporting Actress, Kirsten Dunst, The Power of the Dog.
We had this Valentine box, and it was covered with white crepe paper. And we would paste big red hearts on it.
So there was a lot to admire about Jane Campion's The Power of the Dog, which got 12 Oscar nominations and only won that single prize for Campion in Best Director. The acting nods are all terrific. I toyed with maybe from this movie for this list picking Cody Smith-McPhee, But for this movie, I had to go with Kirsten Dunst in Best Supporting Actress. One, because she gives a fascinating, complex performance, and number two, Dunst has been amazing in so many movies going back to the 1990s. She was worthy for Interview with the Vampire, Marie Antoinette, Melancholia. Hello, Melancholia. I've even made an Elusive Oscar video about Kirsten Dunst. Go check that out if you've never seen it. And it was just one of my great delights on Oscar nominations morning to see Kirsten Dunst finally get an Academy Award nod. Way overdue. I hope she gets another one soon. I love this nomination. Number 6, Best Director, Ryosuke Hamaguchi, Drive My Car.
15年乗って故障は1回もない。
So this was another film from 2021 that I loved. I mean, really, the year in film that was 2021 was a great one. I remember struggling with my top 10 list. There were like 15, 16 movies that could have made the top 10, and I was really going back and forth like which movies should make the list. In this 3-hour film from Japan, you do not feel the length at all. It is beautifully made and acted and shot. Hamaguchi is a force to be reckoned with. You never really know where this story is going, and that delighted me all the way through. This would have been a great one to see in a theater. I sadly watched it at home. But even on a television set, this movie rocks. Hamaguchi is a director, in my eyes right now, who can do no wrong. Number 5, Best Original Screenplay, The Worst Person in the World.
Det liksom ikke nostalgi, det bare dødsangst, og det bare fordi jeg er redd.
So this was another 2021 title that blew me away. I had been hearing great things for months, and right before I finalized my top 10 list of the year, I finally watched this one, and it just completely stunned me in its audaciousness, its wild storytelling techniques, that incredible lead performance by Renate Reinsve, who should have gotten into Best Actress, but more on that in an upcoming video. She is so mesmerizing on screen, so captivating, and that very original screenplay was one of the best by far of 2021. Throughout any year, we see so many pedestrian movies that never take any chances. The Worst Person in the World not only had great direction, great actors, but it also had this dazzling screenplay. I am so happy the Academy recognized with this nomination. Number 4, Best Picture, Dune. So let's face it, there weren't too many categories I could talk about this movie because Dune won almost everything it was nominated for. Okay, so not everything, like it didn't win adapted screenplay or makeup and hairstyling, but it took 6 gold trophies the night of the 94th Academy Awards. Like, that's pretty good. It rightfully won in cinematography, original score, visual effects. Like, this film is a wondrous experience. I saw it in IMAX, and I'm very sad at this moment because I'm recording this video on the eve of when Dune Part 2 was supposed to come out. I know we're all really bummed we have to wait a few more months for Dune Part 2, but it is going to be worth it. If it's just as good as Dune Part 1, it's going to be spectacular, and I think the sequel might even be better. But still, the first Dune from 2021 is amazing. I mean, pitch perfect technically. The cast is so well chosen. Denis Villeneuve should have gotten into Best Director. And yeah, I just love everything about this wonderful movie because it's kind of a genre film. It wasn't going to win Best Picture, but at least it was there and got all of these Oscar wins and multiple nominations. Number 3, Best Animated Feature, Luca.
You live up here?
Yeah, me and my dad. He's not even here a whole lot, so I pretty much just do whatever I want.
Isn't it dangerous?
Yeah, it's the best. Everything good is above the surface.
Alright, so Encanto is a perfectly fine film. I enjoyed it. It's not a bad win for Best Animated Feature. But for me, the better animated film that year, my favorite animated feature since Inside Out in 2015, Luca is a masterpiece. This was my third favorite film of 2021. I streamed it on Disney Plus on a Friday morning. I wasn't expecting much. I was like, they're not even putting this one in theaters. It's probably going to be mediocre. And just everything about this wonderful film dazzled me from beginning to end. The animation is breathtaking. The voice cast is great. The location in Italy, the humor, that ending. Oh my god, the ending of Luca. I have watched this movie twice. Both times I was crying like a baby at the end. Like, this is easily one of Pixar's greatest efforts of the last decade, and it kind of saddens me that it only got this one Oscar nomination. Like, I think Luca was deserving of getting into Best Picture, Best Screenplay. Like, it was that good. I feel like the reaction to this movie by some was kind of muted, but it shouldn't have been. This film, I believe, is a milestone in animation filmmaking. I love, love, love Luca. Number 2, Best Actress, Kristen Stewart, Spencer.
I want to take you home. I'm not moving from this spot until they come to me.
So here is the place where my 3 rules I mentioned at the beginning of this video got me in trouble, because honestly, 2 of my favorite Oscar nominations of 2021 are Kristen Stewart for Spencer and Penelope Cruz for Parallel Mothers. Neither one had the Oscar nomination in the bag. They were kind of wild cards going into Oscar nominations morning. I very happily predicted both of them in my Oscar predictions video. I think it's on YouTube somewhere. You can go find it. The one nomination that caused me to jump out of my seat and cheer was the Kristen Stewart nomination. I just thought that was an all-timer for a great movie performance that was going to be kind of lost in cinema history, I thought, if it couldn't get that Oscar nod. Kristen Stewart is a very undervalued, underrated actress. She's always picking really quirky, interesting projects, especially in the last decade. And she's been so good as of late. I also made an Elusive Oscar video about her career. I mean, Clouds of Sils Maria, Still Alice, Seaberg. She was the best part, I thought, of Crimes of the Future. Like, Kristen Stewart is a fantastic actor, and she's never been better than she is as Diana in Spencer. What a haunting, transformative performance. She immerses herself into that character. The luscious cinematography, production design, score all help, but there was no guarantee of success here for Kristen Stewart. She could have crashed and burned the way Naomi Watts did in her Princess Diana movie. I mean, I knew from the first trailer like this was going to be something special, and I was right. It is a beautiful movie, a stunning lead performance. Kristen Stewart, I think, will win an Oscar someday. I'm still so very happy she finally got invited to the ceremony as a first-time nominee for Spencer. And finally, what is my number 1 choice? I mean, there are some other nominations I like. I didn't really go into. Flea, getting into 3 different categories, was really cool. Shang-Chi in visual effects, Cruella in makeup and hairstyling, Nightmare Alley in production design. But for me, there was only one obvious choice here for the top of my list. I didn't have to think twice about it. My number 1 choice for the best Oscar nomination at the 94th Academy Awards is Best Actor, Andrew Garfield, Tick, Tick, Boom.
Can we just talk about how amazing you were tonight?
Thank you.
I'm not messing around. I could just watch you dancing forever.
This was the performance of 2021 that should have taken the gold trophy for Best Actor. I know Will Smith was overdue. He had been nominated a couple times before. He's perfectly fine in King Richard, but this happens all the time. I didn't really understand what there was about his performance in that movie that made him basically sweep the season everywhere. Like, is he better than Benedict Cumberbatch in The Power of the Dog? Is he better than Andrew Garfield's amazing whirlwind performance in Tick, Tick, Boom? No, sir. Like, I think what Andrew Garfield does in Tick, Tick, Boom is much more impressive and much more difficult. He not only brings a real person to life, he also has to sing. There's pain and longing and romance and hope I love stories about struggling artists just trying to make a difference in the world, and Andrew Garfield, I think, hits this role out of the park. He has always been good. I thought he was deserving of a Best Supporting Actor nomination for The Social Network, and then he finally gets his first Oscar nomination for a good performance in Hacksaw Ridge. I thought that movie was okay, not great, and he's perfectly fine in it. I was happy to see him get into that ceremony. He's such a terrific actor, but Andrew Garfield is on another level in Tick, Tick, Boom. Like, this is his best performance on film to date. Kind of like how Kristen Stewart inhabited the role of Diana, Andrew Garfield immerses his heart, his soul, into the role of Jonathan Larson. He is such a gifted and captivating performer in pretty much anything he does, but when he has a terrific screenplay like this one, amazing musical numbers, fantastic direction from Lin-Manuel Miranda, that absolutely spectacular Oscar-nominated editing, Tick, Tick, Boom was one of my 5 favorite films of 2021, and Andrew Garfield in the Best Actor category is, yes, my choice for the best nomination at the 94th Academy Awards. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below what you thought were the best Oscar nominations of 2021. Do you agree with my picks, or do you think I have it all wrong? We'll see you next time at the Awards Contender.